Very good. Tuesday, February 20th, I'd like to open the Borough Selectmen's meeting. Would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Do we have any public input today? All right, moving right along, we're going to approval of minutes. We have the draft meeting minutes of the 5th of February.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second for discussion. Couple quick corrections. Page 2, second paragraph, Chief Shigori announced his retirement effective should be February 28th. Am I correct, Audrey? Okay, not March 1st. And should be apostrophe in Chiefs between the F and the S. And last page, Town Administrator and Selectmen's update, second paragraph, mentions Chairman Pike and Susan Weeks attending a meeting in Wolfboro, but it is no indication what meeting, what this was about.
So I'll update that. We attended the Wolfboro Agricultural Commission meeting and heard a presentation by a state representative from Barnstead, who is also on the State Agricultural Commission.
Who is not the state AG.
Yes, not the State Attorney General.
Not yet.
That's all I had.
I'd make a motion to approve these minutes as corrected.
It's been made and seconded.
Not as corrected.
As corrected.
I'll second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we should have Representative Mark McConkey to talk about the 10-year road plan. Come right up, Mark. Have a seat. We're all anxiously awaiting your information.
Good afternoon.
Nice to see you, Chip. I haven't seen you in a while.
Please to meet you.
My pleasure. 10-year.
Thank you.
This is our road agent.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you.
This is me.
Isn't anything new to you, I'm sure, sir? I've also brought a copy of the 10-year plan here for you that I'll leave. So, my name is Mark McConkey. I am state rep from Carroll District 8, which I touch your town in a couple locations. I start in Brookfield, sweep up to Eaton, and then come all the way back to Moultonborough. I put together several a package here for each of you. Probably should give you a little pedigree on myself. I've been on the Public Works and Highways since 2002. I've served 9 terms. I've been chairman a couple times, vice chairman. And before I came over here, I went and spoke to Lakes Region Planning Commission to see what you folks have for projects and so forth. And I believe Lloyd Woods is a member. Lloyd? That's you over there, sir?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Wood. Thank you. To see what projects the town has had over the years in the 10-year plan, and that's enclosed in your package here. There were a couple projects from 2015 and I think 2019 that are enclosed here. Like Mr. Wood, I also served in the Planning Commission, where he chairs the whole, is it Transportation Advisory Committee, TAC? Is that your acronym? I was a member for Ossipee when I lived in that town, and projects start through the planning commissions, which I'll just take you through one item here. House Public Works and Highways Committee, the big handout I gave you, and then I folded it back 3 pages in. It just talks about the 10-year plan, and I'm going to bore many of you, maybe some don't know this, but the 10-year plan is taken up every 2 years. Starts on the odd year. Planning commissions work with their TAC committees. They look at projects coming in from the towns, they rank those projects, and then the process then goes through, moved on from there to the governor's office. The executive counselors go out, hold special hearings again. All of the towns, all the public have an opportunity to weigh in, what projects they'd like to see included. And then when we get up to the odd year and all those hearings have been done, it then comes to my committee, Public Works and Highways, and we're the final stop before it moves forward from there. So there's a lot of background information there for you. Good winter reading. So then I went to the department after I found out what the Planning Commission has, and at present you do not have specific projects that came through the Planning Commission in the 10-year plan. But what you do have in the 10-year plan, which is, I think is part of what you're looking to find out, are paving projects on 109 and 109A.
And 171.
And 171, I think, is there, Chip, I hadn't looked into 171 when we were talking.
I couldn't find it on the map either. So
I don't know that
maybe it's not
171
there.
is in here. And I'm sorry for the informality, I've known Chip for a long time, so I
That's
have
all right.
Bob, so. So as you go through the master list here, and you look under Tuftonboro, the paving projects don't come in that section of the 10-year plan. But there are, let me go through the papers here. There's one that starts out, "Hi Chairman McConkey." It's in about 5 or 6 pages, has some yellow highlights in it. And it talks about resurfacing 109 Sandwich to Moultonboro, to Tuftonboro to Wolfboro. It's due to be published for the projects not until 2025 and 2026. That's the bad news. Good news is you're on the list.
It's better than the bridge list.
The bridge list is actually getting better.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Still a secret then.
There shouldn't be any secret about it.
Oh,
It's fully published. I'll send that to you.
That'd be great.
And you're asking me to come in as timely because this is the week that my committee goes through all of these projects. So Chip had just mentioned about the Red List Bridge. I'll be able to send that through and you can see where you are listed in that if you have projects in that. A number of years ago, and there's maps in here, a number of years ago when I started back in the beginning of 2002, this 10-year plan was much thicker and it had a lot of wants or a lot of wishes in it. And we always refer to it as a 20-year plan. About, I'm gonna get my year wrong, but I'm gonna say about 12 years ago, they condensed it, started adding into projects, inflation, and we came down with something that is much closer to a 10-year plan. And they'll decide the next 6 years here very shortly, which will be specific. So I have something at the end when we're talking to Councilor Kenny that asked me to speak
Can you
about.
talk about this a little bit, because it looks like 171 and 109A may be on a schedule. I just skimmed that, I didn't read through entirely.
So I started out with the department heads and they pushed me to Roland Grand Mason, I believe is the name. And I'd asked him for some specifics. Yeah, it is Moultonboro, Tuftonboro, 171, 5.2 miles. And so there is a little bit of 171 on the project list. This list, I believe, is going out for advertising in 2024.
Well, That's good to know.
Where the larger project that starts in Sandwich and runs all the way through to Wolfboro is not advertised till 2025 and 2026. We were in the state resurfacing 500 miles per year, and that was holding up pretty well. But now that funding is now cut back, and I think the projection right now is half of that, 250 miles. And funding of the roads is just an enormous task.
And all of this is just paving,
Yes,
so there's no road reconstruction?
there is no reconstruction in this, Joe.
Okay,
No grinding of the old and putting it back down.
They didn't break it completely out. Where I asked, specifically, what's shim, what's drag shim, what's done. And for the bigger project that's gonna be done 2 years from now, they haven't decided what those sections will be.
The reason I ask is because when I can see 4 distinct layers of pavement in a hole, it seems like shim and overlay, as they call it, not a very good Band-Aid at this point in time.
I would not disagree with you, sir.
And then further, and I'm gonna opinionate on this, totally on my own.
Yep.
It's really nice to be able to get from the lights at West Ossipee to the lights at 28 and 16 now faster, but I don't see that it accomplished one whole hell of a lot. And there's a lot of money spent in that area, as you know. That's all I can see that it accomplished. So, I think a little more effort on 109A, especially because I live on it, much appreciated. If I can take you out to dinner and make that work, that'd be great.
You notice I do eat, but that won't be necessary.
Okay.
To maintain what we have right now, every road, the major roads have to be surfaced or reconstructed every 10 years. And if they don't, after 5 years, Route 16, Route 25, Route 28, they get to a point that you no longer, by treating it, it has to be ground up and started again with base. And they're throwing out numbers of almost $1 million a mile once you get down to that part for a larger road that's got shoulders.
Sure.
So people say to me all the time, how about Route 16? How come it's resurfaced so much, 25? Well, 16 through Ossipee is my road, so that will be done more about it. It's not, it's because those are 93, those are your main corridors going north. I'm sure Ms. Wood would tell you the same about when they reach priorities with the Regional Planning Commission, then the next priority are the roads that go east to west. And there's, so 25 gets more. What gets lost is 109, 171, and all of that. So a number of years ago, they said those roads are getting to a point, not anyone in the committee could name you those roads in their district, that if they don't at least get to it used to be just patching, and now it's a seal coat and surface. And the schedule they're trying to get on those roads is at least 7 years, which is, I saw somewhere in here that the last treatment of those roads was probably 7 years ago for these roads. And Madison, until 4 years ago, hadn't, what's that, 113 through there?
yeah.
153 or 113.
Both, actually.
Yeah. The one that goes through town hadn't been resurfaced or touched in 20 years, and now it's scheduled to be this year, so it's about every 7 years. So unfortunately, until we find another funding source, there's more needs than there is money.
I'm not surprised.
So it brings up another subject, if I could have a minute. So our cars get more efficient. The government keeps asking for more and more efficiency ratings, pushing EVs, electric vehicles. And almost all of our funding from the feds comes from the gas tax. every time you fill up your tank. So we're not filling up our tanks as much, so we have less and less revenue. And the more EVs come on, until this year, EVs weren't paying a fee to be using the same roads.
Right.
So now at least they're paying a registration fee to come in, so that helps. I sit on a commission, a state commission, to what is the next step? How are we gonna find those funds? And we're in the second year of that. There's no miracle pill there, but we're looking, you know, is it Bob drives a fair number of miles? I probably drive more miles. Should I pay more than Bob does? And that looks to be the model, but the feds are extremely slow on adopting a model. So I sit with senators and reps from across the country 4 times a year, and we're looking for that, but there's no answer. I wish I had something better for you. I was tickled to death that they told me you had resurfacing coming before I came over here and got filleted by you folks.
So an increase in the registration fees isn't part of the solution?
It has been discussed. It's been talked about. Every time you register your car, that's right, this is your alleyway. Every time you register your car, what's your mileage? Your mileage from this year, last year. Do you put a tracker in the car, and then it becomes a privacy issue? It's complicated. And raising the gas tax, or we like to call a road toll, not a gas tax. I don't see any way around it. We have to generate more revenue. The feds haven't changed their rate in either 16 or 18 years.
Yeah.
So it's a political nightmare. I've been through it once before. Our committee proposed a raise by 4 cents. And from that 4 cents, that's how you actually saw our paving going from 250 miles a year to 500. And so we took the first, I'm just going to say 6 years of that money, and we just paid interest on the loan that we took out to do 93 and other things. But now, and that got us from 250 miles a year paving to 500. We're now in the first year that goes away. So again, there has to be another source of funding.
But it's only 4 cents a gallon that makes that much difference?
That was the increase the last time it was done.
Almost sounds reasonable.
I used to do the calculation that everybody says we don't have a sales tax in New Hampshire, but if you actually multiply your registration fee times 6 years, you have a 8% sales tax on cars. Because your 4,000 pound Mercedes is not going to cost, it's going to cost you more than your 6,000 pound F-250. So it's not about weight.
Yeah.
But I hadn't heard the mileage.
Miles tracked.
I don't know how you can track that.
They have the feds did pay for pilot projects in 5 or 6 states, but one of them is Hawaii. So I mean so in Hawaii, what they did, you simply write down what your registration is each time, and they figure an average driver, I believe, is somewhere in the neighborhood of 11,000 miles a year. So they've come up with a rate that those people pay in Hawaii. I believe it's Oregon, I could be wrong. They have a program where they're actually a third party provides a sensor, and they keep track of the mileage, and then twice a year you were billed for that. The problem is in our state, so much of our people that visit us and buy gas here from other states. So how do we capture? So we give let's say we all write down our mileage and then we pay a fee. How are we going to capture all of that money that was coming up from Massachusetts when we stop paying for gas at the pumps? because the money that, when every gallon of gas that's bought at the pumps, the distributor has to pay directly to the state.
But you're saying you're gonna get rid of the gas tax?
That's what they're trying to, it's hugely complicated. Is the state of New Hampshire planning on doing that? No, but we're trying.
So can you integrate this mileage thing with your Easy Pass? I mean, everybody seems to have an Easy Pass, and whether or not you have a mileage tracker on it to go with everything else.
The penetration rate, when they suggest that we went to Easy Pass and everyone else on 93 was doing it way ahead of us, until we had gotten to a point that we had, I must say, 40% penetration of all of our drivers, we were losing money by using Easy Pass. It was costing us a lot of money, but we knew the goal was we were going to get there. And we're now at 70%, but we still have 30% of the population not using it, so.
Well, there are no toll booths anymore. What are they doing? Just
So overhead tolling is
cyber tolling?
is pretty much the method right
Yeah.
now. We have much fewer toll collectors. Those highways are broken into turnpike and the rest of our highways.
Oh.
Turnpikes, which have all the tolls, they keep all of the money that's collected there, and then that pays for those roads and those maintenance. So that's why those roads are better.
But they send out a bill for 50 cents.
If you miss,
And what's a first class postage stamp these days?
Put a credit card on
they,
file.
there's
I mean, it
a
costs
the
more to mail
cheapest
the
way.
envelope
Yeah,
than it does.
there's a very large population that refuses to give the state $30 every, to keep on deposit till they pay it down.
Mhm.
And then there's another whole population that doesn't want to use a credit card, and that's why we don't get to 100%. And then our collection rate on people that just drive through the tolls, honest people pay their things. That, I believe the leakage is probably less than 7%, I think I was told a few weeks ago.
It's
And
not bad,
that's gotten
actually.
much better, because we didn't have agreements with a lot of states. So if you were one of those states that knew that, you just drove through, but that's getting better. But that's fine and dandy for the turnpike,
Right.
but it doesn't help us on the
Right.
roads.
Does the DOT have access to the inspection sticker reports? You know, that piece of paper that's generated every time you get an inspection sticker?
Yes.
That has yearly mileage on it.
I don't know that they have direct access to it, but the point's been brought up to me by residents. And they come back and say to me, even my insurance company knows how many miles I've driven from the safety. So I don't know that it comes back, but that has been discussed in this work group that I'm in. That there are, I'll give you an example. So if you're an over-the-road truck driver, you used to have a sticker on your truck for every state you pass through.
Fuel stickers.
Well,
You
they
still have
don't
to
do
have a
that.
plate.
They don't do that anymore. They have a central clearinghouse that handles all of that. You pay there, and then as you pass through those states, the states automatically are issued fees for roads and so forth. And they're talking about, well, maybe that same company could handle cars on miles driven and everything else, because those are censored, to where you are. And it's really just starting.
And there's no hope for trains.
No.
No.
There's hope for a train that would go from it, and it would have passed at one time from Nashua to Boston, but it's when they tried to make the leap from Nashua to Concord that the model went completely sideways. And anywhere else above that, your best rail line is the, what's your line that runs up to, through Maine and then back down, the north?
Downeaster.
The Downeaster, yeah.
The Downeaster.
Yeah.
That's one of the best, you know, for ridership. It doesn't come close to paying for itself.
It's not about the riders. You know, it's like you talked about, I know we're off topic, but you talked about putting the rail back together from Ospey to Conway. It's not about passengers at that point in time. It's about that desire that's been out there for decades to get some kind of industrial employment up here, to get some sort of workforce happening. And I don't think there's the ability in the legislature to think beyond passengers sometimes. I read the things and I think, you know, just put the track in and let entrepreneurs figure out how to make money from it. I think that
the freight is the only model that makes money, but let's go to that section that we're talking about. The rail that's sitting there right now is of a 70-pound gauge or something, and to get to railroad freight now, it's 150. So every piece of rail is
gotta.
And the cost to bring rail from freight, heavy enough for freight, from that 10-mile section that we're talking about that we want to create a rail trail. 10 miles is $24 million.
Yeah.
And that's not counting culvert improvements, grade crossings, or anything else. So I can safely say that we won't see it in our lifetime.
No, I don't think it's ever going to get through the legislature at this point. So, but
it could have got
ultimately it should.
It could have gotten through the legislature to Nashua, but they pushed to go all the way up to Concord, and that was the deal breaker.
Yeah.
I have a question, and I'll get us back on topic too. In the email, when it says that they're gonna advertise for something, 109A in 2025, what's the normal lead time after that for anything to happen?
They'll post that on their state website. The pavers are looking for it, and I believe it's less than it's a few months' time that it's advertised.
That quick, wow.
Yeah. Paving, there's still some competition out there. You know, one or two companies. The problem with all the buildings, because we do capital budget buildings, there's no one out there to do the work. But paving once it's scheduled is.
Did you have questions too, Jim?
Well, I think most of them have been answered. You know, I guess I was concerned about the 109A, but I guess where it says box culvert to be put in 2026. That's a very narrow section where they put up the Jersey barriers. You go across here with a plow and oncoming traffic. Down here, just a little ways.
Yeah, the problem is that graveyard. That's the problem that they've been dealing, or that what they've told us as selectmen. It's just trying to expand, and you have on the one side you have that slope north or south of it, but on the other side you have the graveyard, and it's just limited places to work.
There's two other problems. There's one of 3 stone bridges in Tuftonboro. The other thing is the way the bridge is currently constructed, and the driveway was put into North Country Village. How do you turn a fire truck or a ladder truck? You know, it's more than a 90-degree turn, so when they improve a road. The other thing is that people don't realize is Route 109A is one of 6 prescription roads that the state now owns in the state. And what it means is the landowners own to the center of the road.
Well, that's been the case on a lot of roads.
Yes.
Most of our town roads, actually.
If I could, Ms. Wood, what were you speaking of? What section of road or the entire road? Which is now prescription. What you just spoke of. Is that 109?
109A.
Hey.
Okay, I didn't know that.
The other two things, while we're talking about 109 is a scenic road, and that means by law, any tree over 4.5 inches in diameter, the guy who's cutting has to go ask permission. And then you take Mountain Road, for years was an unnumbered highway. Tom Hunter used to plow it in the winter as road agent, and then the state would oil it during the summer. And that puts it in a whole nother classification. So the 3 state highways we have in Tuftonboro, really, for you legislators, it's complicated. I'll also talk about something else if I could. I only know this because my nephew recently became engaged and built a house in the middle of Maine up by Portland. And when he goes to see his in-laws that live in central Vermont, Tuftonboro Corner is 1/10 by Google off the center of between the 2 houses. I don't have to tell you how dangerous Tuftonboro Corner is.
Yeah.
And that was on a project a few years ago. And
Yeah, but nobody's died, Lloyd. That's the thing. That's how they changed the one over by the courthouse. There's a mandatory death that has to happen before the state puts anything on it.
Which again opens up another pot.
Right.
You know, that project by the courthouse happened almost immediately.
Yeah.
I was Senator Bradley myself.
Thank you.
And the same intersection, 25, 153 coming back.
Yeah.
Effingham, same thing. It was after a second death, and so there are different pots of money, and graveyards, wetlands, right of way. I'll leave you with. I'm a huge believer that there should be a 4-foot shoulder on every state road, and every major road there should be a 10-foot shoulder. You talk about driving down 16.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what's happening, and we were heading in that direction 15 years ago, but now economics is there's no money for that. So if they can avoid the wetland, if they can avoid buying land, and you'll see that, that work's going all the way up through Conway, and someday when that's done, then we end up with more. Representative Petnell invited me over here, so I told her she had to be here in case slings started coming out
In
when I was
case I had
here.
to answer any questions you think.
And I'm sure, I know many of you, in the House, everything is run through committee. So I know very little about the education process, where Katie's engrossed, 5 days a week, and at the same point, she knows very little about the work we do in committee until we come forward and, make proposals. So, is there anything else I can answer for you?
No, I was pleased to dig in here and see that 171 and 109 are gonna see some action this year. So those are my 2 biggest concerns.
Yeah, I guess we have our other rep here. The other 2 issues that have come in front of me is that we need to come up with some changes in the current use law to allow solar development on current use land.
What kind of development?
Solar.
Okay.
We had a proposed solar
Okay.
project down on just off 109A.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that has queered it is that it's on current use land, so
It's not acceptable.
no, it's not an allowable use on current use, on that designation of land, so,
I'd be interested to hear about that.
yeah.
Did someone bring a bill forward on it?
I don't think so, I'm just bringing it up to you now, so.
I
Kind of hoping, and the other thing on the, just to keep solar on the top of the list is, a number of states around us have gone to virtual net metering. So we have a $300,000 project plan for the transfer station, which should offset all the power needs of the buildings that we have. But we can only net meter the transfer station, the rest of it's gonna have to go through the billing process with the co-op, which brings me to my last and 3rd point, which is any pressure you can put on the New Hampshire Electric Co-op to pay more than once a year would be helpful.
I'm paying back.
Right.
Okay, I have
Yeah.
heard that.
So if we get virtual net metering, you wouldn't have to go to battle on the yearly.
Have we discussed that almost every year?
I don't know that you have, but you may,
There's so many different meterings.
Net metering comes up a lot.
yeah.
That's
But-
the Science, Technology and Energy Committee.
Right, well, you're all there in Concord, I don't go to Concord, so
No, I know, but
I'm
that,
hoping.
Thing is,
you're
the science and
Okay.
technology
Yeah.
is there to do it, they just have to allow us to do it.
right,
Yeah,
well,
Yeah,
someone has
it-
to write it down, and then it has to go through all the
There.
stages, yeah.
Yeah.
but what virtual net metering would allow us to do is to generate all the power in one spot and take the meter readings from all the different buildings around town that we're gonna do.
We have heard that.
Mhm.
Okay.
We have heard
Then
that.
it has passed in other states, so you may wanna have them look at how it worked out for them.
It didn't pass with us.
I know it didn't,
Yeah.
so.
Another one is where everyone, and I'll get back to Joe Kenny here in a second. The housing is a huge problem. And I think town should consider, when we take land in to conservation easement, that we should think about having the possibility of breaking some of that out at some point for a housing.
Mhm.
And, you know, whether you want to put it under not-for-profit to run or something, but the problem is we all have thousands and thousands of acres between Tamworth and Ospey, and I'm sure you, that have some frontage that hits on the major road. And I think we have to start thinking about, when we take conservation easements going forward, you know, a possible another use.
I think
That with you.
the stumbling block with that is that when we do a conservation easement, we're usually looking for grants. So we're taking we've got one going this year, I think, on the warrant. And as much of the price of the land that can be offset by grants, it's really, you know, key to getting some conservation land put together. But the grants constrain how we can do business, so I think it's a bigger
There's always a
discussion.
word no you can throw out there.
No,
No.
we're not gonna take,
We'll do that if we can do that. I think we
Yeah.
have to start a conversation.
right,
And then at some point, maybe we'll get there.
right, and I think the no can't come from us saying, no, we wanna keep 25 acres out for workforce housing, and then the grant giver is saying, well, have a nice day, so.
Yeah. And I'm not asking you to pull that out for them, I'm just saying when we accept that there might be some conditions that would allow some of that land to come out.
Mhm.
That's all I'm saying, but I like that. Joe Kenny's, when I told him I was coming here, said that you have an ongoing project with Union Wharf,
Right,
and that he wanted to make sure if there was something else that needed assistance or whatever, for you to follow up with that.
no, we got our grant, the grant's been all approved, we've been yelling at the crane operator for a month to get his ass down there,
Oh, okay.
but everything seems to be on the right track.
Okay.
Tuftonboro Neck Bridge.
Yeah, well, that's why I asked for the bridge list, because sooner or later, I mean, that's our most valuable property, is Tuftonboro Neck. I mean, it's, of the $2 billion worth of real estate we have, a lot of it's sitting right down there. That's the only access to that.
Okay.
And we just repaved the whole,
Half of it.
the whole half of the road we repaved.
Yeah, did you run into weather, or are you coming back to the other?
No, just, we have a, about $350,000 or $400,000 paving budget that so we do pieces.
There is also, the Senate is looking at providing some relief, as they have, I think, for the last 2 sessions, that they'll turn monies over to the town for projects that you feel necessary, whether it's paving or whatever.
Well, they did increase, wasn't it last year they increased the highway
Highway block grant.
block grant?
For a couple of years, what they did is they made 2 payments,
Yeah,
so, and that made it easy legislation-wise, they didn't have to
I don't care if their lives are easy, it doesn't matter to me.
Well, I'm just saying that money is coming forward, and
Right.
so I know it was helpful to Tamworth and Madison and so on.
And we've gotten some
Not those
federal
two.
money, we've got, I don't know, a little over $800,000 to do some work up on Canaan Road up into the Ospey Mountains. And then there's a couple more grants that we're working on the federal level.
There was the anticipated bridge money too.
Yes, there's part of that Senate package that they're working on right now, because there is still surplus money, and the process has been in the Senate. We get the 10-year plan, and then we work on that, but by the time the Senate gets it, and the process isn't done till June, the Senate has a much better view of how much money's coming into the state, and they're looking to do what they have in the last 2 terms, and taking some of that surplus and writing it back to the towns like they have. So.
Be nice.
Excellent. Anything else for Representative McConkey? I think he's been really informative.
And
Gave us a lot of good
affable.
information.
Well, I didn't want to get
Not like those little county commissioner meetings, friendly.
I don't know, do you want a copy of the 10-year plan?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Please.
Thank
That
you.
with you. If there's anything I can do, I'm more than happy to come back. And I thank you for your attention.
Excellent.
thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Representative Pennell, thank you for coming. Lloyd, you provided a lot of good information. Thank you. Jim, appreciate you coming in and checking this out for us. Everybody have a great evening.
Chip, we're still working on that
Yep.
farmland.
Wrong coat, wrong coat.
Oh, yeah?
That's Chip's coat.
That isn't gonna work, is it, Chip?
Got all that money on that. So did you plant anything?
We have a third run of our committee, Lands Committee.
Yeah.
I think we're really gonna make some good progress. We're not selling it, but we'll preserve it.
They did the courthouse, just to remind you.
Well, we needed $1. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have our transfer
Yeah,
station
Kenny.
superintendent for this monthly update for us. Look down, Chris.
Of course, I don't know why I said, yeah, we'll take the book, because Tufton Borough is even in the book.
Oh, we'll be there
Just
somewhere.
skip right over Tufton Borough. It's alphabetical.
It's antithetical, I think is what you wanted to say, not alphabetical.
Okay. I'll look that up later.
So I have more of a brief report this week, because I don't have any of my billing from any of my January trash or any of that, but I'm still not
We don't have the bills from January, it's the end of February.
correct, it's almost March. So, I've been going back and forth with email, and my portal is not functioning, but I am returning that. So I do have some numbers which will help, but I don't have pinpoint numbers. But I do have other information which I think you'll find interesting. In the scheme of everything becoming more expensive, the scale company called and sent me this. This is my small scale in the building. Lucky for us at the moment, nothing is going up for that, but everything else that they do is going up between 3.5% and 5%. So, something for down the road, just have to, it's all getting more expensive as we look at the scales and, you know, a couple years down the road, whatever, it's going to continue to go up.
But the scale is
But
coming
our
up.
little scale that we have currently, that didn't put an increase on that for maintenance, and I already purchased a new computer for the scale, back at the end of December, so I put that through before the new increase came into effect. So I'd say just probably a couple $100. I just wanted to get a heads up on that. The other thing I wanted to get a heads up on is the roof. We talked about the roof leaking.
Right.
I climbed up inside it this past week, took some pictures. You know, it doesn't look like there's any mold up there right now, but it doesn't look like if it keeps up at this rate, it's going to be long before there is mold. So, things that this is the top. It's all contained to the far end of the building. It's, you can see clearly in the pictures. Don't grade me on my photography. It's all, you know, it's been wet, it's been dry, it's been wet, it's been dry. The insulation's matted down, you can see where the insulation's been wet.
So this is where you removed the insulation?
No, those are the roof rafters.
Oh, working up. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
But
And
there's
then
insulation
where
there.
it was leaking, there's one picture which was the floor, right here.
Yep.
You can see the floor is flat, it's hanging, and this has been happening for quite some time, and it's just something that we probably should think about addressing sooner than later. It's in our future plans to put the new backside of that roof on, but when we have heavy rain or we have heavy wind and rain, it's leaking. So I just think that that's something we need to collectively keep in mind, that it might be something that we want to fix now rather than waiting until it's
Well, it looks like you need some plywood replacement as well.
Yeah, certainly. The problem is, yeah, once it gets wet, it gets dry, you know, it gets dry, it gets
Right.
wet, it gets dry, then it starts to get puffy.
And we don't know if there's anything on top of the plywood besides the roof.
Just, as far as I know, it's just metal. I don't know if there's anything.
They didn't put any,
If it was,
Moisture barrier.
it probably wouldn't happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if there was butane or water shield,
Yeah.
it would be leaking.
So,
And
pretty dicky with it.
if the peak is done right, it won't blow in.
Yeah, that's the
So-
problem. I think that when they put that building in, or when they redid the roof, the back side of that roof should not have been vented, should have only been the front eave.
Right.
But could have put the plugs in on the back side, keep that wind from coming over the landfill and up
Well,
under the roof.
You know, properly sized end vents do all the work.
Yeah.
So you can just seal that ridge up completely.
And there's, like those indents up there, the wind blows through that roof. You know, it blows through hard. So it's ventilated. I mean, it's ventilated pretty well up there.
Yeah.
But I was surprised actually how windy it is above that ceiling. But it's clearly insulated well because it was cold and the building was warm.
Yeah.
So
Ventilation's not the problem,
ventilation was not the problem.
the water ingress is.
Yeah. So that's something that we should.
So we should probably try to get some numbers together on fixing that.
Have somebody climb up in there and
Yeah,
see
I
what
mean,
it's going to take.
I don't know, how old, that roof has gotta be 25 years old.
Best to my knowledge, it's 2005 or 2008.
That they roofed it? Oh, so it's only,
Well, they built the building in '96.
yeah.
I can't imagine them putting a roof on within 10 years, did they?
I want to say that that roof is new. I don't know if there was an issue with the previous roof or previous roof was shingle or what, but
No,
it
it
wasn't because it's
It was
not.
never
It
shingle.
was never, the plot was in good shape other
Yeah.
than in a few spots. But I just maybe wrongly but I got my State Street, I think it was just that building up top of that.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, maybe it's just that building up top.
So it may be that we don't need a new roof, you know, the metal doesn't need to be changed, but we need to put something under it and they'd have to replace the plywood anyway that's been
damaged.
damaged.
If that roof is coming off to get replywood and revegetate, it's getting a new roof.
Well, get a roofing contractor up there to take a look at it.
You know, well, yeah, it's strange that all the damage to the roof is on the front of the roof. The leak is in the middle of the ceiling, but it's strange that the wind is blowing it in this way, and the damage is on this side of the roof. It doesn't make sense to me, but it doesn't have to make sense to me, I guess.
No, it needs to be fixed.
It may not be.
Right.
It may not be the wind that's doing it. There may be other leaks up there.
Yeah, let's get something going on that.
So I'll get a couple guys and have them put it in.
Sure.
And you were gonna get us some more pricing on loaders?
Yeah, but I've got those 2 or 3 current prices. I haven't got any new price from John Deere in Portland. But they're all up from what we had previously now. But probably, I don't have, I can trickle Beauregard again. I just talked to Beauregard Tuesday or Wednesday about that. I made a note here about the track that we have, getting that in for an overhaul and finding out how much they're going to charge us to lease it. Replacement until we can get ours back. Because regardless of what we do, we need to get that thing. We need to have some maintenance done. Over and above what I do every year, it needs some to get checked over well.
So we need an estimate on what they're gonna do to rebuild it, and also how much it's gonna cost to rent
Yes.
a replacement, and how long they're gonna take.
Yeah, I think we're looking at probably 4 weeks from the appointment. I won't let it go until, the appointment is around the corner, and then we'll have the rentals for sure the times we possibly can, really. These are new.
Nice.
I've put every employee that works at the transfer station is in a uniform. They're all part-time, full-time, doesn't matter. Everybody has shirts that say staff, sweatshirts that say staff. I just thought it was important that
it's not just.
we promoted a professional image. It gives guys a little bit more pride in the job. They have something that, to wear that says where they work. So have something new.
It just says Tuftonboro staff, so we could get the staff in it, put them in t-shirts.
It's just,
It's my color, I'll take
staff everywhere. So I get shirts and sweatshirts for guys. At some point in time.
And no snow issues this year. It's not snowing at all.
Not so far. We've managed to work that out pretty good. But the garage door, one compared to one broke, and I had to have the red doors from the company come over and re-string that door. One of the coils broke and through the cable. So I had to have them come over.
So that's at the compactor?
Compactor, yeah. So it was an easy fix. He was in and out, a couple $100 done. That was, and I gave Audrey the new 5-year contract from Waste Management, or 5-year proposed contract from Waste Management, because this is the last year of our contract. So she's gonna take a peek at it and whatever it is. So
terms haven't changed? Has the pricing changed?
Pricing went up, yeah. It's
Is-
going to go up every year,
Yeah, but is it consistent with what they've told you?
yes. Yeah, so,
I don't need to see it now, but
yeah, yeah.
do you get deliveries of compactors, the bins, a couple times a week, do you not?
Of the actual,
The actual
The
bin?
yeah,
roll-offs.
yeah.
I don't know if you have any, say, maybe you would wanna mention to your rep that I see that, I drive by that truck every morning when they're coming in, so it's 2 or 3 days a week. And they're flying down 171. I mentioned it to Chief when I saw him last week. If he wants to get a couple of tickets, he can get that waste management truck. You might wanna tell your rep.
Okay, I'll mention that we have a very close relationship because they're having issues with their health, with their fleet, with everything else, and that guy, I'm on the phone with them, I'm on the computer with them, and when I had my meeting with Pete a couple weeks ago for this new contract, he was calling me up and I said, I don't care, that's not my problem, it's your problem. The driver said, oh, we couldn't come and pick up your cans because we don't have snow tires on our truck. Not my problem. We have a contract and those bins don't do me any good when they're full. So I figured it out. So I told Pete that and he was going to address it and where that will end up, but we had some issues past couple times with some drivers, and we've addressed those, and hopefully that will work itself out, because we don't need them coming in and damaging town stuff. But waste management, that's all I have really for waste management. We did 11.3 tons of glass in November. January. Never mind. We did 2.5 tons of plastic. We did 2 tons of cardboard, 5 tons of scrap metal. Recycled 22 AC units, 26 refrigerators / humidifiers. Break it down. It's just either or, because we have to pull out the free on both of them. We did 600 pounds of crushed aluminum beverage cans. Just in January.
So you've got a kind of an estimate on your revenue? Or are you just guessing?
No, these are true. These are real numbers here.
On the,
I don't have.
you don't know, so
Right.
we don't know what we're getting for scrap?
Oh no, scrap is still a wash. Cardboard, we haven't shipped any recently.
Okay.
Last I knew it was about 80 cents.
Aluminum?
Aluminum is like $1.80. So, but that's up and down, and I don't mind holding on to it until the
Right.
market's good. It doesn't hurt us. So, aluminum, just the numbers that we've been getting, not really, nothing concrete on those. I can for next meeting, I'll call Hurting Meadow and ask what their current price is.
Or, yeah, I mean, you should have your receipts by then. We don't have any checks that have come in
No.
for,
I don't think so.
No.
no.
And the only other thing I have outstanding is safety cleaning for the pump out for the oil. They finally came and tested the oil. And it was, relatively process for them to call us back. They called back, and we now have the okay to have the tank pumped from safety cleaning. However, the only day that they will come to customer was Thursday, So I'm in the process now, back and forth from Portland and trying to make arrangements.
I thought we had a company that was coming to pump our tank, and we had put it in the budget, it was like $1,500 a shot.
Yeah.
Okay, and Safety Clean's not taking it?
Yeah, that's just, it's like a nightmare trying to get something nailed down. They've bought we used to have Wentworth waste oil coming out of Romney. They get bought by Safety Clean. The place in, just over the border in Maine, they get bought by Safety. Every little company is getting scooped up by Safety Clean, so they're on an upland. So the only thing you can do now is call their 1-800 number, talk to a representative, hope for a phone call and email, and then start the ball rolling to get certs.
So Waste Management doesn't have a waste oil division?
No, they tried with Tech over in Laconia, and didn't luck with them. I know people, lots of people that have great luck with them, but they've not returned my call, phone down, they didn't call, so.
Who does oil changes in town or somewhere? Must be some.
Well, we got 2 garages in town.
Where are they getting rid of their oil?
Ed Burns has,
Yeah, Ed Burns, the oil.
he is,
Okay.
I talked to one person in town, and he's the one that put me on the gas tech from Laconia, but they've got good luck with them, and I couldn't get.
And is our tank full?
What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
It's not quite full at this moment, because we had somebody who came and wanted some actually for their heat. So we let them pump off
So.
some, but it's
Okay, we
not.
can do that in non-public, but then you can't take oil anymore. If your tank's full, we're not buying in another tank, and we certainly don't want
Right.
50-gallon drums worth of waste oil in the property.
Right, when it's been full, I've told people, we're full, we can't take it till we get
Right.
pumped. We need, if you need to get your waste oil, to get to Walmart. Walmart takes it for free. On the webpage, it's in that waiting room. So that's how you got your register for you to take with it. So we haven't had that big of an issue. As it stands right now, we could probably start taking it again for a month, but before something would be completely full again. And we don't have that big of a
Tank.
need. We still have the diners that come in, there's a few that come in and want to get rid of the oil, but
If you're full, you're full. And we don't wanna, you can't really let people have that oil once you've taken it. You can't. I mean, it's,
Becomes a liability.
yeah, there's a chain of ownership that goes forward, and we're putting ourselves in we have no idea what they're gonna do with it.
If they spill it down the road on the way leaving the Tuftonboro Recycling Center, the powers that be will come after Tuftonboro.
Yeah.
Right, because we had a fellow working industrially that was willing to take the oil, bring his own 55-gallon drums, the whole 9 yards, but us being a municipality, we really couldn't take a chance on incurring the liability.
Right.
So we had to say no, that's too bad,
It
but
is too bad.
that's how it works out.
yeah, no.
Yeah, have them start a company, get the insurance, take the oil,
One,
and they can own it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the only way it can really
Exactly.
work.
Yeah.
Or we
So-
burn it ourselves in a waste oil burner.
Yeah, I don't think we generate enough to make it worth it. That's 350 gallons a year, maybe at the most.
Right.
And but I put put all the numbers together 18 months ago probably, and between buying the furnace and buying the,
It wouldn't pay.
I mean, a good waste rock boiler that's starting like, I don't need to tell you, but that's starting at like $7,000 from a good, cheap one, and then go from there. Because you want a good one, you don't want to put junk in your building.
And once you increase the amount of storage you have, then you're changing your permits, and yeah, we don't need to do that.
Goes around and around.
So,
You can't add to it after you've tested it either.
No.
I think that we're in a good place. I won't give it away anymore. We'll get punked. And then once it's punked, we can make another decision if we're gonna reopen.
Yeah, I don't mind, I mean, personally, I don't mind if you take the waste oil, as long as the tank's not full.
Right.
You know, we don't wanna create a surplus site.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I've done up to this point. I don't want gallon jugs piled up in the back room.
No,
All around the tank, with
No.
some pump tanks. that
it's
we
either
can
in the
fill.
tank or it's not there,
Right.
that's it.
Okay. Anything else for Chris? Anything else for us, Chris?
Not at the moment.
Good, good.
Oh,
Yes.
The guys are doing good.
Okay.
Report the guys doing good part-time, full-time.
Any more discussion? Is there any more discussion about changing the hours, adding a day to do a weekend rotation, something like that? Where are we standing?
We haven't had that discussion yet. I think that it's something that we might be able to look into coming up. But I did not mention something we're looking at right now, reversing the direction of the flow of traffic in the transfer station. This is all part and parcel of trying to prepare us for the hazardous waste recovery if we so decide to do that in another year or two.
How you reverse the direction when you get the compactors facing them one way? Are you gonna go uphill and,
You just come in, it doesn't matter, if you're coming this way, you're gonna have to come back on both sides, or if you go that way, you'll have on both sides. I'm just saying, if we come in, you always stand to the right, nobody's crossing traffic. Come around the building, you get rid of all your glass and plastic and cardboard, and then go into the compactors, last stop, and out. I thought that we could try that, it would be a good project to test the flow, and my outlook is that if we decide that next year we're gonna be a host site for hazardous waste, we need that back stretch, that long straightaway that's out
Right.
back, to set up for containers. That way people can come in, get to the containers, and we can have enough room in between for bypass lane for everybody that doesn't want to go there to drive by them and come up and continue their business. But if we have it going this way, everybody going to the hazardous waste day will have to be in traffic for
For the
containers.
compactors,
And
yeah,
compactors.
right.
It'll be a magnificent traffic jam, a lot of people backed up to the street. So I'm trying to think of ways to get everybody trained, for lack of a better word, to all go in one direction, do their business, and then next year maybe we'll throw in that 1 or 2 days a year.
so you
for
can't,
hazardous waste.
you'd be changing the direction permanently.
Well, let's just say a trial period
Well, I
for
don't-
the summer, but if it works out, I think it would be permanent, yeah. it
so
makes
you're gonna
sense
have
to
to
me.
have, I mean, I would think you'd have to take one of your temporary workers or somebody
Right,
to
Yeah,
direct
directing
traffic.
traffic.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
you're gonna get a lot of pushback
right,
on
yeah,
that.
I've got all that in the plan. I mean, if you need me to go get in the plan, if you get it, I'll do that, but I plan on having somebody, first couple times, somebody, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, we have to put somebody right up there.
Yeah.
And say, this way, you know, go to the, and then have to have somebody stand outside and say, put this here, put this here, put this, just to get people to train that, oh,
Right.
we're going backwards. And then after a few times, I think it'll work out, and if it doesn't, you know, it's gonna have people who don't get it.
In theory, it sounds good.
In theory, and then when they go, when they exit, they're just gonna exit right and leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes more sense. You're not crossing traffic to get out of there, so.
So we'll see. I just thought that I'd throw that out there and get your feedback and give you guys time to.
Well, when it comes time for you to want to do that, I'm just going to say good luck with that. Let me know how it works out.
Yeah, it's not that easy, Bob. They're not gonna call him at home.
No.
No, they're gonna call you and me. They'll probably still call Guy, and Guy's gonna have to tell him he doesn't work there anymore.
This is why I say it's a temporary trial period.
Okay.
We'll see. Any other, oh, by the way,
Thank you.
thanks, Chris. Have a good
Okay.
evening. I see Chief Thompson out there getting ready to come in and talk with us. Come on down, Chief. And
Give us your worst.
oh, well.
Good evening, Chief.
Gotta get him a green t-shirt. Tough for staff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God, look at all this work. Jesus.
Just a little bit of light follow-up. 2024, as of today, we did 62 calls, 15 being fire calls, 27 EMS, 17 service calls, 3 special details, gas furnace inspections 8, oil burner inspections 1, wood pellet stoves 1, life safety 7, for a total of 17. And we're 10 behind as far as calls from last year, but we're ahead as far as inspections and stuff this year. Summary of our larger responses: 1:24:24, 11:59 a.m. car versus utility pole in the area of 68 Governor Wentworth Highway. The pole was broken with wires and a transformer down, blocking the roadway. Governor Wentworth Highway was shut down for 2.5 hours. Car 1, Rescue 1, Ambulance 1, and Engine 4 with 8 personnel responded to the scene. Tuftonboro PD only had 1 officer available and was committed to the accident investigation and arrest. Therefore, Tuftonboro Fire Companies were used to manage traffic on that incident. Stewart's was also there, along with Wolfboro Highway Department. They set up traffic detour at the Wambach area. And we detoured traffic at Tuftonboro Neck. What we found was that with not having another officer on the Wolfboro side, there apparently wasn't one available from either the sheriff's or the Wolfboro, and putting that detour in effect at Wambach, it confused some people, you know, that live in Wolfboro because they didn't think that they could go past Wambach. But if we didn't detour them there, and we obviously couldn't turn them down Lang Pond, and once you get the bigger trucks and stuff down towards Libby and things, it's hard to turn them around. So we made the detour. It made some difficulties with people, but overall, I don't know if you heard any complaints as far as that goes. 1:26:24, another motor vehicle accident in the area of 98 Sodom Road. Ambulance 1, Rescue 1, and 3 personnel went to the scene along with Tuftonboro PD. Stewart's was canceled en route as we signed off the 2 people that were in the vehicle, and there were 5 personnel at the station. 1/28/24, 12:54 p.m., Wanzel Road, Wakefield Mutual Aid with our airboat for a tractor through the ice. We were canceled en route. 07 on 1/30/24, 07:49 a.m., 68 Governor Wentworth Highway, Unit 9. Companies responded to a reported distinguished fire in the building.
Isn't that the same address as the 24th?
Yeah, the motor vehicle crash in front, that blocked their whole roadway, so people weren't able to get in there. Unit 9 of this building, Rescue 1, Car 1, and 3 personnel and the code officer responded to the scene. This fire could have been devastating for one of the whole groups of condos if it had not self-extinguished. A condominium unit under construction was found to have had a fire. The fire started in a plastic trash can from discarded oil-saturated rags. The fire was in the area of the kitchen that had been gutted on the first floor and was in the process of being renovated. An exposed PEX tubing melted from the direct radiant heat, causing a sprinkler effect on the fire. When workers opened the home on a Monday morning, they noticed water running in the condominium unit with smoke and fire damage. This is a prime example of where our 3 engines are critical to effective operation of our town's fire department. In most areas of town, water is all around, yet it cannot always be accessed. The closest water source for this area would have been either positioned in a large portable pump at the lake's edge, approximately 200 feet out, or from access of a fire hydrant that is at the Tuftonboro-Wolfboro town line by the Living Museum, which is a mile away. The distance of either would have caused a significant delay in water supply if this had been an active building fire. Engine 4 with 2,500 gallons of water at the Mirror Lake Station would have played a significant role in this fire if it had not self-extinguished. We have heard comments and discussion from several taxpayers against replacing Engine 4 because as a town, we have been fortunate not to recently have a lot of fires. There have also been conversations about wanting to close the Mirror Lake Station. Folks often do not consider or may not be aware everything after 75 Tuftonboro Neck would not be within 5 miles of a fire station. Our current insurance service, ISO rating, is a 4 and a 4Y. It would plummet to a 10. This is the worst rating that a town can have. Decreasing our rating to a 10 would not only increase property insurance premiums, but also limit the number of insurance companies capable of writing policies for a 10 ISO rating.
Would that be for everybody in town, or just the people that live beyond the 5 miles?
Everyone that lives beyond the 5 miles at 75 Tuftonboro Neck, which is a substantial amount of property down there.
We
27.
27.
We expect there's gonna be a lot of discussion,
Yes,
Town
I would
meeting.
think so.
and you're gonna be prepared to elaborate on all of this, I presume?
Yeah.
Good.
The one thing that I don't know, and I've got to call into the budget committee, what their thoughts were, because obviously when the warrant articles had been voted on, that wasn't something that I was at as far as it goes, so I don't know what the reading was as far as why they were against, 5-0 for the fire truck as far as it goes. I assume that has something to do with the study that was wanting to be done, or obviously the fire truck cost over $1 million, or could cost over $1 million.
I can say without doubt that both of those considerations were part of their process.
Yep, all of the above.
Hopefully I get a call back from that, but yes, we'll be prepared to talk about whatever we have to with that. We're also going to prepare a handout ahead of time as far as why it's needed and, be able to hand that out.
I make sure to mention how long it takes to get it,
Right.
so.
That's the whole thing.
Critical.
I mean, it would be great if we didn't have to apply for it until 2025 and we get it in, you know, a year from there. But when you're looking at 3 years,
Mhm.
you're crazy not to start out in 2024
I know,
and go from there.
so, you know, the budget committee didn't support it, but we did.
But I did, I saw that, that you did support it. As we get down through here a little bit further, I have a little bit more further information as far as, obviously I was watching the, one of the videos of, the transfer station giving an update, and there was some information that's not quite so, true
Mhm.
as far as that goes. And I don't think it was done on purpose. It's just that we may not be completely informed as we should be, or we're misinformed with some information. So 2-7, in the area of Waterbury Island, we had a reported stranded hovercraft with unknown injury. Car 1, ambulance 1, utility 1, boat 2, with 5 personnel responded to that. No injuries were found, and once the subject got the vehicle back up and running, he made it to 16 Waterbury Island, where the subject has a house. 2/19/24, 9:38 a.m., 101 Middle Road for working chimney fire. Engine 1, 2, and 4, car 1 with 7 Tuftonboro personnel, along with Wolfboro Tower 5, and a crew of 3 handled the incident. Stewart's ambulance was staged on scene, and Tuftonboro PD assisted with traffic. This is one of 3 simultaneous incidents that were going on at the same time yesterday.
Fire or medical? Both.
Both. So we had we had a medical call that the ambulance, due to needing to be cleaned as far as it goes inside because of the type of the call, disinfected I should say. That took a little bit longer, but while we were out on that call, we had this chimney fire come in, and then another medical alarm call come in at the same time. We took up 2 of Stewart's ambulances between the 3 calls, and Wolfboro ended up having a cover truck come into their station because their 3 personnel were at our incident. The leaking hydraulic generator system on engine 4 was repaired at Lake Region Fire Apparatus, and a coolant overflow reservoir was ordered due to a hole and a crack found in the top of the tank. We will get a repair cost when the job is completed with the tank. The cable on Rescue 1's winch was replaced due to a cable failure on an incident. A synthetic rope kit replacement replaced the metal cable to make it safer. The cost was $364.99, and Warren Industries is where the parts were ordered. Utility 1 had several new wheel sensors installed to address warning lights that had come on, and the parts and installation were $13.28 at 603 Motorworks. The administrative secretary was able to finish the outstanding cyber training for 2023. Full-time personnel need to complete 2024 security training, but we've been having issues accessing that security training, and we've got a ticket in that's been placed with Lake Region Computer to address this. Once that's situated, we'll all get up to date on that training so that we stay within the guidelines that the town has set. On 2/14/24, the major PM on the HVAC system in both furnaces was completed at Central Station, and there's a 5-page work order that just shows you what is done and what we get for the contract that we have that we pay, to.
Any issues
E&E
found?
systems. No, not on this time, and, it seems that, things have been doing pretty good with the system since we had all the issues before, and we're actually contemplating of replacing them.
Wow.
I'd like to take a moment to clarify a few details brought up by another department head about the fire department in previous selectmen's meeting. It was stated that the fire department doesn't necessarily need a third engine, as we are part of Lakes Region Mutual Aid and pay for it, and we are part of Ospey Valley Mutual Aid and pay for it. We are not part of the Lakes Region Mutual Aid Fire Association, and we do not pay for it. This would be well over $100,000 if we were part of the Lakes Region Mutual Aid system. We have been asked to join their system and have them dispatch us through their system, but for $100,000, that's not something as a chief that I could support. I think that we get very good support through the Carroll County Sheriff's Office as far as dispatching. In our Ospey Valley Mutual Aid, the $8,000 that we pay for the Ospey Valley Mutual Aid basically goes towards radios that are not part of the Sheriff's Office, to make up our simulcast system and to support that system and to support us as far as whatever we do as far as trainings and things like that with the mutual aid. We also provide tags that are with each firefighter, so when you go to a fire scene, those tags are left with the command officer, so you know who's on the scene, and many other things for a small amount of money that we pay.
Do you think, I'm gonna ask the question first, because I know someone is going to eventually. If we became a member of the Lakes Region Mutual Aid for $100,000 a year, do you think we could do with one less fire truck?
No, what is that gonna do? That just
I'm
gives
asking
you,
the question.
it just gives you dispatching.
Mhm.
It doesn't make the need for a fire truck go away. Your need for the fire truck is there. We are at the optimal area that most fire departments try to get to, as far as having a fire station that covers 5 miles of, each section of town, and be under one chief, and as far as being run by the town, as far as that goes. Being part of a mutual aid doesn't make the need go away for you to provide your own
And it doesn't,
equipment.
provide accessibility to other towns' equipment?
You have the accessibility if the need arises as far as that goes, but what if that town or towns, for example, I had said that Wolfboro came to us, there are 3 firefighters that were on duty, they had to have a cover truck come in from another town to cover them. So what if they were out on their own call? And then we're dealing with 3 calls.
And it doesn't, there isn't anybody in the Lakes Region Mutual Aid system that were exclusive of Wolfboro and Moultonboro that would alleviate that 5-mile limit.
Right.
Maybe you could say that something in Guilford, but it's still further than 5 miles.
Well, as far as Guilford wise, going across the lake doesn't count.
Yeah.
It has to be road miles, and that's why we go mutual aid to Moultonboro. Not only because part of Bald Peak is in Tuftonboro, we cover a big part of Bald Peak automatic response because the Melvin Village station is where it is. The Moultonboro station is quite a ways away, so they have the benefit of that station there. Wolfboro is more than 8 miles from Tuftonboro Neck, so that gives us no benefit as far as it goes. So being part of a mutual aid, they might consider that you have better radio system as far as communications and stuff like that. But I think that our communications are very good for what we pay for, as far as it goes. People lose the sight of, they think that if you're part of a mutual aid system, then you don't have to have your vehicles. You can depend on another town for the equipment and stuff like that. But
That's why I asked the question.
you really need to be able to provide your own coverage, and then when you get the bigger incidents, then they come in and help out from there. And the same with us going out.
Okay.
So like, we don't need a $2 million ladder truck because Wolfboro has a tower truck as far as it goes, or West Ossipee has a tower truck. That's where we benefit from them being in our mutual aid type of things. But we don't just depend on it as far as it goes.
Okay.
For everyday things. So.
Sorry I interrupted.
And I think we can skip through the snarky stuff, okay, Chief?
You got it.
And go right to the department that's been working on 2 large projects?
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. So, the department has been working on 2 larger projects through the Fire Association. The first is a UTV and enclosed trailer, valued at $73,411. The second was a grant application through the Mark O'Connell Foundation for Lake Winnipesaukee Safety. The association successfully applied and was awarded a tilt deck trailer valued at $20,000. The association worked with the Mark O'Connell Foundation to acquire, delivery, upfit, and customize the trailer. This trailer was ordered with a future airboat replacement in mind.
So the picture that you included
Yes,
has an airboat on it?
that's our current airboat.
Our airboat,
Yeah.
okay, got it,
That is correct.
thanks.
In the other picture that I included is an actual picture of the UTV and its trailer.
I can see the UTV. Oh, there it is. I have one, but it's not gray, mine's green. But I have those tracks.
The tracks are a wonderful thing.
They are a wonderful thing, sorry to
No
interrupt.
problem. This trailer significantly decreased the time necessary to get the airboat into operation and to an incident. Mr. Mark O'Connell was the operator of one of several snow machines that went through the ice on 2017. Mark and his family were unable to escape, Mark and a friend were unable to escape the frigid waters on Lake Winnipesaukee. Tuftonboro Fire Rescue responded with our airboat to assist with the rescue and recovery in Moultonboro. Later the same day, the department again responded on Lake Winnipesaukee, this time in Alton, to assist with another rescue and recovery mission of 2 snowmobiles through the ice. The old original aluminum boat trailer is being stored at the Quonset hut at the transfer station until it can be replaced, until it can be placed in the old salt shed on Mountain Road in the spring. It will be kept so that the current airboat can be sold with it when its replacement time comes. The department and the association would like to thank all who have donated and made these projects possible. I would also like to thank members of the department who have put countless hours in planning and making the projects a reality. A public hearing would be needed to be set up to accept the 2 projects, as they cost over $5,000 each. All the information for the 2 projects, as far as in their total value, are on the sheets. And so a hearing at a selectmen's meeting would be required for both of them.
I would comment that the Tuftonboro Firefighters Association, once again, has done a fantastic job of raising funds. This is great.
Obviously, the UTV was scheduled on CIP, and we were able to make sure that that wasn't something that had to come up. That was scheduled for, if I remember the past CIP for this year. So we were able to
So
help with that.
is our next meeting, election day?
Yes, it is.
So probably not a great time for a public hearing.
No,
No? When is it?
It's the 4th, March 4th.
March 4th,
When is election day?
the
12th.
The
12th.
12th.
Oh, I thought it was the
I
5th.
thought it was the 5th.
No,
It's
Okay.
the second Tuesday.
right.
So that has to
Right.
be posted for
Second
a certain
Tuesday.
period of time and certain
Yeah.
period of places.
Yeah, we don't have enough time for the 4th.
No?
So we're gonna meet 3 times in March?
yes, please.
Okay. So that would put us on the, I can't see it that well, it's 15th of March?
You're meeting the 4th and the 18th.
18th. So
And
you
the
want
12th.
to,
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we set a public hearing for accepting gifts for the fire department on the March 18th meeting.
Second.
I'll say, yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I won't be here.
It's okay, you're here now.
All right, you're setting up the meeting, not who's gonna be in attendance.
Right. Well, I actually might be in attendance, you never know that.
So have you gotten the UTV, is that what you just said?
There's a picture, yes,
No, I saw a picture, but do you own it now?
yes.
So you've already gotten that vehicle?
Everything's there.
Okay,
It's all, we acquired the UTV, had the tracks put on it,
mhm,
the tank, the med area, and did all the work as far as that we needed to, the striping and, the different
Okay.
stuff that was done to it. Osmy Mount Electronics put the radio in it and the lights and stuff that go along.
but
with
it's ours
it.
now,
It's yours.
so we just need to, so we can do both pieces at the same
Yep.
time.
So, the only thing that's left as far as trailer, but we put it in the cost because we had an estimate, is lettering and striping, so for the trailer, so it's marked. But that was something that we didn't feel that we should hold up the process of getting it accepted as far as it goes, because that can be done all later.
Great.
Excellent.
Do you have anything further for?
Chief, Captain Morgan also got his grant for the equipment from the state.
Yes, okay. I think that, yes, he had told me that today as well as, that was the reimbursement, correct, as far as it goes? The money came back to the town already.
It was, I think the grant you get every year, I think it was $693.
Yeah, so we have to expend a certain amount of money to get 50%
Okay,
back. And it was a grant process that the state has for forestry equipment.
Mhm.
We were successful with getting that, and it was changed up a little bit this year as far as the process. It's going through the AG's office also, so there was a little bit more to it and more signatures that were needed, and things like that. Usually it was like a one page.
That wasn't that much money though,
No, but it,
so it's not something we have to,
no.
no, that's just a matter of the town got the money back,
Right.
that we had applied for, so that you know that was the case. But, and it usually comes back electronic, so.
Very good. Anything else for the chief?
nope,
Anything else?
free to go.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Have a
Thank you,
wonderful
sir.
Keep
night.
up the good work.
Thank you for your time.
All right, we're gonna make a motion that we resume the non-public session that we
Yeah, sounds good.
recessed before the public meeting.
A second.
All in favor, Pike aye.
Murray, aye.
I'll be aye.
Sergeant,
You're on.
all right, I would entertain a motion to come out of non-public.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I would also entertain a motion to seal these minutes.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next up is signature file. Right off the bat, we have an intent to cut. Tax map 41, lot 1, sub 4. I would have a motion to approve.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. This is a sign and date. Today is the 19th. I would like to comment, hopefully I don't jinx myself, but so far I've written 2024, whatever it needed to be. I managed to get into it.
For you.
2024.
Today's the 20th, but yes, okay.
Okay. See, already. We have the town warrant for our signatures. We've been through this ad infinitum. I would have a motion to sign this. I'll make the motion to sign it.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we'll clean up the signature file.
220, that doesn't feel.
Yeah,
And
That's okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I holding you up?
a little, but
it's okay.
in a hurry.
I was interested in having a gander too, so.
Yeah, I just wanted to scan a couple of things.
It
Sorry.
looked fine to me when I read it before the meeting. However,
I can make you copies too.
Yes, please.
good to go.
Yeah, because we have to strategically the presentation.
Yep.
Figure
We
out
will do that on Tuesday, voting day, I presume, as we always have.
who's doing the,
Yeah.
what?
I'll present it all, I'm not worried. We have an email in our action items from Chief Shiguri. Phil Bennett has reached out to him to see what, if anything, is going on with the police building, and the chief has told him that he would let us know. He was asking.
I was gonna reach out to him, Mr. Bennett.
Good. We have here a request, or yeah, I would say it was a request from the, excuse me, Lakes Region Milfoil Committee, New Hampshire Lakes Milfoil Committee, a donation request. And we have money in here.
That's showing you what you donated last year.
What we donated last year was $300. We have options, 100, 250, 500, or other. What do you fellows think about donating money to the Lakes Region Milfoil Committee?
Didn't we budget for it?
We do it every year. It's not
Yeah.
donating to the Milfoil Committee, it's donating to New Hampshire Lakes.
Right, it's from New Hampshire Lakes, and it's for Milfoil.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we donate $250.
So second.
All those in favor, without any other discussion, $250?
Aye.
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 All right, I, Cammy, or Audrey, I've X 250.
I should have asked before the vote, where's the money coming from?
Well, we can go
Milfoil
out
Committee,
of the milfoil.
It's in the
Line.
budget line,
Milfoil.
Okay.
Tuftonboro Milfoil Committee.
Yeah.
Good. Those are the action items. Correspondence. We have the MS9 for our review. And there's a report from our superintendent of the transfer station,
And RRA sends it
Yeah,
on
they
that
send
way.
and it's pretty much in line with what he says. You can read that at your leisure. We have a notice of property tax appeal.
Didn't they drop that appeal?
After discussions with Skip Sansucci, which I presume is George Sansucci, our man that works with the utilities, the assessor for the town of Tuftonboro, New Hampshire Electric Cooperative, is withdrawing its tax appeal against the town of Tuftonboro, pending before the Board of Tax and Lands Appeals with regard to the 2022 tax year. NHEC and the town of Tuftonboro have reached an agreement and resolved this matter. That's the kind of correspondence we need. All right, we have an abutters notice for a DES Wetlands Bureau to construct a new effluent disposal system for our residents. We have several notices for wetlands permits which have come through our Conservation Commission. And we have a letter from FEMA. Effective digital flood insurance rate maps for the town of Tuftonboro issued on March 19th, 2013. Your community received communication in August 2016 informing you that the flood hazard mapping for Carroll County will continue under the FEMA Risk Mapping Assessment and Planning Program. We're also given the work maps for our community in 2021 and the USGS, U.S. Geological Survey, who is serving the FEMA's mapping partner, preliminary summary of map actions, etc., etc. So, the materials were sent to you with the preliminary letter on January 5th, 2024. The USGS would like to invite your community to review these products and discuss the preliminary process in the Community Coordination Officer meeting. The meeting will be conducted virtually in an online meeting room with audio and video. Audio only access to the meeting by telephone is available for those without internet. Meeting information is Tuesday, March 5th. Click here if viewing digitally, or they also have another form you can fill out if anyone would like to attend this meeting. The Board of Adjustment has given us notice that there's going to be a hearing at 7 p.m. on February 28th concerning a request by the McDonald Family Revocable Trust for a special exception concerning Article 11, Section 3.6B1 of the zoning ordinance. Applicant proposes to host 8 small events per year on property located at 499 Governor Wentworth Highway in the medium density residential zone. I believe we've heard about that. Those are those people that want to hold a wedding venue.
No, that's up in Canaan.
Well, then this is a separate one.
Yeah, this is something
Apparently it hasn't gone through the planning board. Okay. That takes care of correspondence, and then we're into our famous Town Administrator and Selectmen's updates. Town Administrator?
So Cammy and I are working on the town report. I was waiting for one more signature on the MS 737. And I believe there's one other report that comes out of Unismart I need to do. So that should be completed tomorrow and sent up to the printer. I've spent a lot of time getting the final warrant articles correct with DRA. That was a lot of back and forth prior to last week's public hearing with the budget committee. And Ashley has come in and spent a few hours getting the employee files in order. It's already such a huge help. And I need to check that I have the 2024 budget in Unismart. That just needs, I always use QC, always the checking. So I got that in, need to check it. And I have quotes for 2 computers, one for Parks and Rec and one for the transfer station. At the transfer station, the office is, I think Chris is putting in a counter at like desk height, So he and, is it Barry? Barry can work together and he can be cross-trained. And then the Parks and Rec obviously is for Ashley, and nothing will be ordered until after town meeting. Budgets have gone through, but that's getting ready. We talked about a gift for the chief, and I'm learning retirement paperwork with New Hampshire Retirement and Health Trust, and helping the chief as much as possible have a smooth transition into his retirement.
Great. Good. Chip, would you like to speak to anything you might have been doing?
I did stop in today, and after driving to 19 Mile, or up past 19 Mile Pier,
Right.
and directed the staff to get a hold of the contractor and find out what the hell's going on, because we need to get that started. I think Cammy decided to phone as opposed to email, because that doesn't seem to be helping. But it would be nice to have some activity down there, even if it's just parking a crane before town meeting.
Some kind of word, anything,
Yeah,
contact. I shouldn't be surprised if they can actually do the project rather quickly
yeah,
when they get started, but they do have a deadline. And
right.
it would be nice to be able to show our folks at town meeting that something is happening.
We do have all of the grant material done.
Right now, we're ready. Yeah.
So we're ready to go.
Oh, okay.
I think that's it.
Well,
It was a quiet week last week. I was off for most of it, so I
all right.
don't have anything.
I fielded a few questions here and there from citizens, nothing truly serious. Easy enough to say, oh, look it up here on this. The town website is the biggest problem they're having, trying to find anything on it. And I don't think they were aware that up in the upper right-hand corner, you can actually write it, type in what you'd like to see, and it will bring you somewhere in a query. So, yes, for example, town ordinances are spread out in one place and some are with the codes officers and things like that, but that's basically what I was doing in the week, is trying to guide people through the town website. I had one fellow come in, talk about taxes, what he'd like to do with his property with me. I made him, I don't know how many people are not aware that have huge pieces of property about current use, all right? And I'm not sure that that's totally appropriate in every case, but sometimes, if you've got swampland especially, current use is an option. It's not like we're going to be selling it for great money or anything if we were to take it even. So.
If it's swampland, it should be taxed appropriately.
Yes.
I think we need to.
And I think that was one of the people's issues they had. So I put them in touch with Jackie and talk about that, educate them up.
Right.
And that's pretty much it.
I'm gonna make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that. Any further discussion?
Negative.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.